Hey guys, what is up, and I welcome each and every one of you to a new League of Legends video. So today we'll be going over the changes for a preseason. A post just came out by Riot talking about the preseason changes. Now, they have made these posts before, giving us an idea as to what they want to change, but this post actually has the changes specifically for each of those things finally ready. The numbers are here. We know exactly what's changing, exactly what we're getting. And essentially, preseason is here. It's going on the PBE server in just a few hours as well today. So that's pretty exciting. Also, excuse a little, I guess, boo-boo on my lip. I got in a fight with my cat. Unfortunately, my cat won, so that's okay. You know what? You can't win them all. But either way, guys, jumping into this, if you enjoyed the video, of course, make sure to hit the like button, share with your friends, let everyone else know about this. Let's talk about the first thing. Laning phase has improved and slightly longer. And I'm sure some of you will obviously recognize these topics. But again, the biggest thing is the fact that the actual numbers are finally here. So let's go over it together. So what's the first goal? So turrets will much more rarely fall from 100% to 0% early game after one gank or recall attempt, and players that lane aggressively and take risks in the early game are rewarded. Right? Because again, don't forget the tower is going to have this extra shield that has like 5 barriers that destroying each barrier essentially gives you extra gold and rewards. Bad matchups don't feel like a surrendered lane. You may be pushed under turrets, but you'll have more time to CS safely before your turret falls. These are like kind of opposites of each other though. So it's like, are you rewarded for being aggressive or are you not rewarded for being aggressive? Because like this is like, yeah, if you're aggressive, you're rewarded. But if you lose lane, it's okay still. It's like, okay, which one is it? Lane matchups are less influenced by success or failure, and players should be a little more likely to leave lane phase having completed their first item. Tactics. Outer turrets are now reinforced with this little turret plating you guys can see here, right? It looks pretty cool. Right there, boom. I don't know why I made it bigger, as if it wasn't quite obvious right here. Anyway, so there's 5 of them called plates. Destroying a plate grants local gold, but also increases the turret's resistances until all remaining plates fall off. Currently, they have it, I guess, at 14 minutes in the game, all plates fall off. Additionally, when a plate breaks, the turret gains 20 seconds of extra protection called the Bulwark if more than one enemy champion is sieging it. So that obviously just destroy the aspect of just completely destroying towers off of like the one gank. So essentially right now, the meta is like 4-man gank bot, kill them, get the turret, get the dragon, rotate, done, you win. Congratulations. Turret plating. Okay, here with turret plating in play, we also adjusted outer turret base stats. Outer turrets are the first line turrets, right? It's outer turrets, inner turrets, and inhibitor turrets, if you're not aware. We've increased their health and AD scaling, but the resistances are now tied entirely to turret plating. Turret plating now provides a baseline amount of resistances in addition. Okay, it's fine, whatever. And the overall impact here is that outer turrets will be much less frequently to get run over. Okay, now let's actually look at the numbers. Well, I want to see exactly what the changes are. So, turret plating. Each plate represents 1,000 turret HP. So each one of these, so essentially this right here, to destroy this before 14 minutes to get the bonus rewards, 5,000 HP. That's a decent amount. That's definitely a decent amount. Armor and MR provided by turret plating is 40 plus 30 for each plate destroyed. That's actually a decent amount, honestly. Like, destroy 3 of them, that's 90 extra. That's 130 armor and MR on top of the, I'm assuming on top of the base turret stats. What? That's actually insane. Gold reward per destroyed plate is 160 local gold divided among nearby champions. 160 is not a lot, but again, you don't want it too little. I mean, 1,000 is not too much, but again, don't forget it is 1,000 times 5, so each one will be more and more difficult to kill. So it kind of makes sense. 160 gold, not too much. I feel like maybe 200 would have been a little bit better, but 160 is fine. And the Bulwark, which is again when one plate gets destroyed, it gets a temporarily bonus effect or resistances of 25 armor and MR per nearby enemy champion passive first on destroying a plate. Okay, now the turrets themselves, what do they have? The outer turret HP has also been increased by 1,200, just flat out. So the turret itself, on top of the actual shield, is just flat out tankier. The outer turret armor and MR has been, oh, okay, this has actually changed from 55 to 0. Okay, so that makes sense. So now this isn't as OP as I thought it was, because if this was there plus this, that's impossible. So now it's actually just 0, which makes sense. Outer turret armor and MR scaling per minute has also been reduced. Okay, so the turret itself has no actual resistances anymore. It's all based off of this. But once the turret plates fall off, these turrets seem very, very, very squishy. All turret AD scaling per minute has been actually more than doubled. The outer turret AD cap has also been essentially almost doubled. The inner inhib turret's AD cap has been slightly increased, and the Nexus turret AD cap has been also slightly increased. Okay, that makes sense. So pretty much they heavily increased the damage on turrets in general, especially the first ones, and then all the other ones got a slight increase as well. And the turret first blood has been decreased by half, literally because of the turret's the plating stuff, because it will be pretty OP if not only do you get all the gold from this, and on top of that, you still get that fat first turret bonus as well. That'd be just literally impossible to come back from. So they reduced that, which makes sense. So that's the first change, guys. I mean, pretty cool. I actually like it a lot. Let's go on to the next one. Rune paths are no longer dictate stat bonuses. So we know we looked at this before, how now you have this rune page, you have this, and then of course you have these extra options here as well. So let's see exactly what that means. The goals. Players can now take the runes that they want without feeling restricted by path style bonuses. So if you want to go for like a casted and precision build, but you don't want attack speed, you can kind of opt into other stats as well, which is to kind of give you stats that you actually want, rather than stats that you're kind of forced to take that maybe you don't really want. And let's see the way they're doing that. So you'll select 3 stat shards, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's fine. Let's see what the actual stat shards are. So there's 3 rows. Don't forget, 1, 2, 3. Row number 1 is either 10 adaptive, 6 AD or 10 AP, 8% attack speed, or 1 to 10% CDR, obviously scaling from 1 to 18. Next, row 2, we have what? We have 10 adaptive as well, same thing, but this one, it can instead go for 5 armor, 6 magic resistance, and they're debating adding a 4th one. And the 5th row is going to be either just get flat HP based on level, or more just resistances, picking which one you want to do, right? So you can see them all here. These are all the same. This is the resistances. This is the HP. This one right here is going to be the flat adaptive damage. This one is going to be the attack speed, and this one is going to be CDR. So essentially, pick 3 of the 9 options. 1, 2, 3. Not bad, not bad. That's pretty cool change, because again, it'll give you extra stats. It kind of gives you a feeling of the old rune system that existed like what, a year or 2 ago, where you just pluck in the runes that you want for the early game bonus stats, and then, you know, that's what you get. Very, very similar concept here, so I do kind of like that change. It's pretty cool. Important note for clarity, rune paths themselves no longer grant style bonuses. You now get those stats from stat shards. Oh, okay, I see. So right now when you go into rune paths, you pick this, and then based on whichever second one you pick, you get bonuses from that rune. So if you go into like the defensive tree, you get extra HP, blah, blah. But no longer does that offer any stats whatsoever. All those stats are now offered here instead. So yeah, makes sense. Okay, cool. Comebacks are more achievable and satisfying. So let's take a look at this. This one's pretty interesting. So the goal here is to make the path to staging a comeback clearer for the team that's fallen behind, more accurately assign bounty levels to account for leads that don't come solely from champ kills, and make the system more forgiving when you're playing well on the losing team. Tactics subject to change. Bounties will now be visible in the scoreboard. Right there, you can see the Swain is 300. He is worth 600 gold. Pretty cool. Minion monster gold earned is now part of the bounty system. Payout of bounties is capped at 1,000, 700 from bounties, 300 from baseline kill, with remaining rolling over to the next kill. Bounties from champions on the losing team are reduced so as not to punish the one person trying to carry their team from behind, and champion kill bounties will scale higher at higher kill counts. Pretty cool stuff. So the actual math behind how these bounties are calculated is really dense. We're not going to go into specific details, but at the end of the day, all you need to worry about is the value that you see in the scoreboard if someone is doing well, which again is this number right here at the top of the kill count. In games where CS is skewed heavily, bounties will be accrued approximately 70% from champ kills and 30% from minion monster goals. So don't forget, guys, they changed the bounty system now so that, like they said here, 70% of the bounty's worth is from how essentially fed you are from just killing champions. The other 30% is coming from just how well you're farming, which is a little bit weird because farming is not something easy to, I guess, do really, really well, or just simply just straight out farm your opponent. But if you are straight out farming your opponents, you're going to be worth more gold. So interesting take. I'm actually really curious to see how that's going to pan out, I guess. And the last thing is decided games resolve faster. So what are the goals? Teams with a sizable lead should be able to close out the game without Baron buff. Oh, that's interesting. Idle time should be minimized. So waiting for a minion wave to be in position to siege the enemy base, waiting for the next dragon baron to spawn, etc., etc. Okay. Tactics. Scale up minion health, turret damage resistance, and movements. Wait, turret damage resistance? They literally removed all turret. Interesting. Oh, it's only outer turrets. Never mind. Okay. Makes sense. Increased spawn rate of cannons. Ooh, increased spawn rate of cannons earlier in the game. That's very interesting because that's also worth a lot more gold. And decreased spawn timers of objectives. And wow, that's also very interesting. Wow, this is going to be so much more fast paced. So there's what's going to happen to champions that want to scale? That's my question. Current tuning. So all minions. Minions will do more damage or less damage to towers, but the movement speed is plus 25 at 20 minutes to now being plus 25 to plus 100 between 10 and 30. So just straight up minions are just faster now, so the lanes will move faster. Makes sense. Melee minions max HP at 37 minutes, which is like obviously the max HP that they'll be able to get throughout the game, is overall increased by 300. Their armor is being increased, and of course, and their their max AD is being increased from 12 to 80. These minions are literally gonna be champions. What the fuck? Okay, that's actually interesting. I have to see. I have to see how that plays out. That's what the hell. The minions are literally going to be champions. They're going to be one-shotting us. Like what? 80? Am I missing something here? Am I reading this incorrectly? What? Am I reading this incorrectly? I'm so confused. Caster minions, max HP. So 425 reached at 27. Now instead it's going to be 485 reached at 37. Okay. Makes sense. So the 27 is unchanged. Okay, so essentially it'll just scale even further. Max AD scales infinitely. So right now it's 60 at 37, but instead it's going to be 120 at 37. Oh, okay, I see. Makes sense. Okay, so that's still pretty fucking insane though. Cannon minions. Switch over to spawning every 2 waves. 20 minutes. So it's, wow, that's okay. So cannon minions are coming out a lot faster. Spawning every wave. 35 minutes to 25 minutes. So essentially cannon minions are just spawning pretty much like decently more frequently. The max HP scales infinitely to now being 32 at 37. So essentially they're just going to be tankier. Okay. Damage taken by turrets, 14% max HP, which is 8 shots to die, to now being 14% from outers, 11% from inners, and 8% from inhibitors. So 8, 20, and 12 shots to die. Okay, so that means that essentially it'll be more or less the same for the outer turrets, but as it gets to the further turrets, it'll be a little bit more difficult for them to actually destroy the turrets. Okay, makes sense. Super minions, base AD is being decreased. The base attack speed, however, is being increased. Okay, makes sense. So they won't just completely annihilate your face with each auto, which is, I guess, okay. And the aura no longer grants minions 70% damage. It's interesting. Baron buff, minion protection from champ damage, 75% damage, champ damage reduction from melee minions, 50% for caster minions, being changed to now being 65% altogether. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit less effective on the melee minions, but a little bit more effective on the ranged minions, so just more well-rounded. The minion protection from turret damage is just gone as well, which actually is pretty good. I like that a lot. Pushing advantage, removed. Minions no longer gain bonus stats based on your team's average level. Okay, and epic monster respawn time. The elemental, okay, this is interesting. The elemental drakes will spawn 1 minute faster. The elder dragon is going to spawn 2 minutes faster, and Baron is spawning 1 minute faster. That's going to be really cool. I actually like that a lot. That's going to make the objective play just so much more, I guess, frequent and important, which is going to be super cool. But essentially minions are going to be, especially the melee minions, they're going to be one-shotting you boys, so be ready for that. But yeah, either way, guys, that's it for this video. There you have it. The preseason changes are here. There's also a bunch of changes. What did he tweet? Some other stuff he tweeted. I don't know what that is. So patch H121 notes. There's also a bunch of new skins coming out on Mubi's Twitter. I always follow his Twitter. So there's going to be new Fiddlesticks coming out, a new Grey skin coming out, Victorious Oriana, Program LeBlanc, Program Nami. Pretty cool stuff. So yeah, that's about it for this video, guys. There you have it. The new preseason changes. Preseason is here. It's going to be on the PBE server very soon. I might do a full gameplay of just playing it on the PBE, just to get a feel of just how it is, what it is, and all that stuff as well for you guys. So if you want that, definitely hit the like button. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you for my next video. Peace.